When asked by the New York Post if she would ever consider running for president in the future, Congresswoman Liz Cheney replied, quote, "I'm not ruling anything in or out. Ever is a long time," adding that she believes any lawmaker who challenged legitimacy of the election should be out of the running.
Democratic strategist, owner of JC Strategies, Jennifer Holsworth-Karp, and Senior Director of Policy at the Conservative Partnership Institute, Rachel Bovar. They join us now to discuss. Rachel, Liz Cheney making a lot of moves down there in Florida at the retreat. A lot of stories coming out that Kevin McCarthy was like, hey, can you just tone it down a little bit? And she was like, no. Comes out, does the interview, all of this. She is just, really putting herself out there. What do you make of this 2024 float? She knew exactly what she was doing when she did it.
Yeah, I'm not sure who was doing her polling on it, the Lincoln Project, because this is something that, this is what you get. We've talked a lot about there was going to be an effort to snap the GOP back, to pretend that Trump never happened, to pretend that the doors weren't sort of blown off on a lot of the policies that the Republican Party's been pushing for decades. And Liz Cheney is the embodiment of this. What strikes me about her floating this is that I'm not sure where the constituency is. I don't see an actual wellspring of support for her candidacy because it's built on one animating feature, which is, absolute hatred of the GOP base. And then the second thing is no articulable platform beyond the next corporate tax cut. And we've tried that. Well, I also forgot endless war. That's
I was going to say, forgot Afghanistan.
So, drones for everyone. But beyond that, I don't see a constituency for this. So it's a vanity project as far as I can tell.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Drones for all who want them. Am I right, Jen? So can we stipulate that, I'm good with the criteria that no one who challenged the legitimacy of the election should be running for president? Could we also stipulate people who are good with war crimes or want us to stay in Afghanistan endlessly, literally forever? Can they also be out of the running here? I mean, it's just one of these situations where there's literally no one to cheer for over there.
Oh, boy. This is how far the Republican Party has come, and that's not a compliment. I think Democrats are able to compartmentalize Liz Cheney right now. Yes, we appreciate that she did not go along with the big lie. We appreciate that she is pointing out that the election was not stolen. I don't think anybody in the Republican Party is listening to her right now. However, that is an extremely low bar to be considered for the presidency. Maybe not on the right, but it certainly is for the rest of America. And no, I think that she should be completely barred from running in 2024. I think anybody named Cheney should be barred from here on forever.
Amen. From
holding federal elected office. We will not soon forget everything else that she stands for. Yeah. She seems like a very nice lady, but absolutely not. Under no circumstances would I ever consider a Cheney presidency anywhere near reasonable.
So this is the interesting thing, Rachel. I mean, it's clear that she's probably going to lose that primary. Maybe I shouldn't speak too soon, but I think she's probably going to lose her seat whenever it comes to her congressional run. Now, is she setting herself up as some sort of a future CNN commentator? Is that what this is all about? I see a lot of Joe Walsh energy around this entire thing. Yeah,
I think that's an accurate. It's a great point and an accurate assessment. I think Liz Cheney is more of a political animal than people give her credit for. So she may actually be a person who thinks she's going to win. I'm not sure. But to line it up for everyone, right? This is the woman whose own state party rebuked her. And then not long after that, she had a leadership challenge from her own party in the House. Now, she overcame that, but it wasn't a great sign of popularity. Right. And she's now taking those two things and saying, you know what, I should run for president. I'm not going to rule this out. So there is a little bit of conceit there that, perhaps she is setting herself up for, again, a CNN contributorship or more in sort of the Cheney bailiwick, which would be probably a seat on the Raytheon board or
Now, you know what? That's better offer. That's a real love story.
She doesn't have to do anything to get that. She's already there.
It's true.
Jen, I actually think that that's an interesting and profound point, though, that you can have someone like Liz Cheney, who, they censured her at the state party level for literally the one good thing that she did, right? So it's not like they did it for the right reasons, but who, because of her other policies as well, has no political constituency, but could very feasibly be made into a staple of cable news, even though her political ideology represents basically no one. It's kind of the story of cable news, because you have people who share Liz Cheney's ideology vastly overrepresented at MSNBC and CNN, even though they're not really reflective of, nor do they seem to really understand the dynamics and contours of politics today.
Sure. I mean, I haven't heard any rumors of a future cable news gig. I'm sure that most legislators, when they retire or lose or move on, that is something that they consider. But I think it is interesting that she is floating the test balloon for people in her category. Congressman Meyer from Indiana is somebody that sort of fits into that middle of the road Republican, candidacy. Adam Kinzinger is somebody that sort of fits into that sort of, balloon of middle of the road Republican candidacy. Although it appears that Liz Cheney has been sucking all the oxygen in that lane. I think there are others that actually might emerge, which will get more attention than her if any of them run for president in 2024. I think they also come with more constituencies than she has. I don't necessarily know what play is in front of her. I mean, I've racked my brain. I don't know where she goes from here. Now, far be it from me to pretend to be a Republican strategist, but if I were her, I would keep telling the truth about the big lie, but then sort of return to her base of where she got elected. And I think that's the only way she sort of survives national attention on this.
We'll see. Her and Kissinger can duke it out for the CNN contributorship, as far as I'm concerned.
There's room for both of them on those panels.
Yeah, that's true.
Sagar,
That's
come
true.
on.
They got a lot of airtime they got to fill these days. Okay, guys, stick with us. More Rising right after this.